Hello Gemini, and welcome to your February early March forecast. My apologies for being late. It's a new puppy. I got more than I expected. I have to wake up every hour and I'm so freaking tired. But I didn't want to do it half-hearted. This is a different word I kind of had in mind. That's what happens when you don't sleep enough. And I want to do it right. And here we have, it's not really a tiger, but this is a cheetah. It's going the distance, go the distance. And we have the fates. I was just doing a logo for somebody in my other profession, and I use this kind of very similar stars. So how and why am I connected to you, Gemini? That is really interesting. You have Laguz, the rune of water. You have religious factors and honeymoon. You know that I don't care much about inscription because to me that's too much of a Disney. And let's look for the main sentiments. I also want to point out that this card is 47, which adds to 11, so you're getting that extra 11 energy over here. So where do I start? Let's start with the fates. Let's start just as it shows. You see, remember that serenity prayer, I think I was saying to the other sign, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and give me the wisdom to know the difference, kind of a thing, right? So I really think that there are certain things in your life that you don't have any kind of control over, and conditions that brought onto you by evolution, or conditions, pardon me, that brought onto all of us kind of as a collective thought, including your past lives, are kind of maybe fated, and that's why you have this. It means it's preordained. Ugh, I cannot even talk. My apologies, guys. Don't jump on me, even though they're going to be the ones who are gaff warriors or mistake warriors. Oh, you didn't do that, you didn't do that. Block. That's kind of how I deal with things lately. I just have no time for that. So many channels, they can find somebody else. So guys, accept the mystery, accept what you need to work with, accept that your current circumstances need to teach you something, and it's going to be the wisdom of that serenity prayer that I'm telling you, right? Also keep in mind, as it comes to relationship, that other people are exactly who they are, and you cannot change them. You have to accept them just as they are. If you can't, if you think, well, certain things need to change for this to work, think again if you should remain in that relationship, or you should continue and have that discomfort, if not worse. But then you're having go the distance, and that's clearly that you're getting things right. You're looking up the stars, and you know that the star is my favorite card in tarot, and we are seeing it over here. And this is also, ta-da, 17, just like the star in tarot. So it clearly tells us this message. So here it's telling me also that you're conceptualizing something and you're putting that in action. And it's really lovely. It's kind of reminder that you guys have what you need. You have that endurance, you have that strength, and even kind of the fortitude to go forward, to carry you to basically, look at this goalpost, go there, right? And it is about also harmony, as it could be anything. It could be from job situation to relationship situation to family situation, that you simply kind of hey, you know what, whatever is happening, I'm here to learn something. And then when you kind of look at things from that perspective, things would happen, and then you're able to refocus and go in a different direction. Now, when you have religious factors, to me, sometimes that speaks marriage. Sometimes to me tells me that maybe you're dealing with somebody who is much from a different culture, who, doesn't necessarily fit into what your concept of life is. We do know that sometimes that creates difficulties, but only in the beginning, until you actually open your mind and learn a little bit more. This also can talk about something rigid, something that, square peg in a round hole kind of a thing, and I just can't get it right. And it can really create the circumstances that either have to be traditional, either you have to vote decide which kind of rules you're going to adhere to, or just wash your hands, shake your hands, goodbye, let's stay friends, I wish you all the best. honeymoon, even though it sounds wonderful, and here we have the water just like we have it over here. You have all the sand, but the sand is really good. This is really talking about some kind of like nourishment, right? But this honeymoon card I don't like too much. I'll be very honest with you, and I don't like it because I'm just about to be 45 on the 15th. But the reason I don't like it is, yeah, I'm not 17, and also that infatuation, that butterflies in the stomach, got me in trouble so many times. And you're an air sign. You probably think very much on the same kind of like, you know, frequency. This says enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. And that's the problem, you know, like when I see this card, you know what it reminds me of? This show, Bachelor, The Bachelor and the Bachelorette, where they kind of like get them in a castle for 6 weeks or stuck them in the island, and now you go procreate. Let's see the hormones, let's see all this competitiveness, the worst that can get into us as a human species, and then you're in love and you're engaged, and guess what? It doesn't work. It actually worked, I think, just for a few people, and they really didn't rush into that. They really didn't go and consummate and try to sample all these cookies, and it was just different. This always tells me about illusion. It tells me that this is very superficial kind of like way of looking at it. So maybe you have to find, why is this happening? Are you maybe accepting people at face value? Maybe that's the problem, because this is telling you need to trust yourself. You need to take situation just because it presented itself. You do have the right to call the shots and to say what you want. Laguz, it is also about harmony. It is also about affection, and it's about feeling comfort in the arms of your loved ones, right? So it's really talking about also prosperity and success for those of you who are looking into that. The religious factors can mean you're getting a job and your role is spelled out. You're having job duties and you have to fulfill it, and maybe you're worried if you can actually step in those shoes. You know, I have to tell you, it was never a job that I applied for that I checked all the boxes. Never. I would go for 80% of the boxes, and the 20% of them, I just didn't have them. And I knew that I would have to force myself. First 3 months, I was miserable in any new job that I had, because I had to catch up and learn all these new programs, all these new things, in addition to the names of all the colleagues. So you come home and you just sleep, because everything is like so, you know, new, and you're like burning your brain cells. But here for me, this is really telling me that you actually might find completely the opposite, that even though you might have some kind of like circumstantial things that are going to make you hopeful and willing to go further, or maybe even renewal of some kind of relationship or some friendship going in a different direction, you might also find yourself in emotional void with kind of like not very much going on kind of a thing, right? It's going to feel like, looking from the side, that you're sitting, you know, like you're sitting and everybody else is making moves, everybody else is passing by you. And by the way, this is exactly how Einstein came up with his theory of relativity, by standing and watching the train passing by. And he actually realized that for him, the train passes by, and the person in the train, he passed by, he stayed behind. So that was that relativity, as you notice, that each of them kind of like had their facts seen from different standpoint. But now I'm going to explain all this physics. Unless you want me to give you lecture in physics, I'm not so sure that I would even remember all of that. But let's go back to Laguz. That's what I do remember. Is really telling us that it's kind of like excellent omen, because it kind of like advises patience, and that all of them tells me about patience. 11s, you see, I was born as an 11, and it sucks. It really sucks. I was born as a number 11. My name adds to 11. I'm 11th sign of the horoscope, of the astrology, and Jesus Christ. And it was like so nice. Oh, you're 11. Da, da, da. Yeah. This is all until you hit 40. Before 40, you are a slave. You literally are apprentice for the longest period of time, where everybody's kicking you, demanding something from you, and you really need to learn all of that experience, because as 11th, you're supposed to be very sensitive to people, but not in a mushy way, not in a, oh, poor thing, nothing like that. Quite the opposite. Sort of like taking people that they are still strong even if they're weak. And you know, the strongest people also need a shoulder, and so 11s take these very strong people and kind of like guide them through it, just saying, you just got stuck here, here you go, I'm releasing you, kind of a thing, right? So keep in mind that you need to be patient, because the situation will be changing around you, and given that this is like the rune of water, right? So you need to understand that water kind of like moves in all directions and has this ability, when you spill water, that is going to take in the shortest period of time the biggest possible space, right? It has that feeling. That's why when you're involved with water signs, it feels that this emotion is so encompassing. So you have to understand that. This is also about fair winds that will kind of flow in your direction, and you know, you're going to really start feeling February, early March, that your time is surely coming. So let's see for the rest. Let me shuffle the rest of the cards and start seeing what is your Celtic cross telling me. You ready, my pretty Geminis, my pretty Geminis? Hello, Sappy. Whoa. Do you love Geminis? Do you love Tiger? Yeah, that was, you were not sold on it again. Do you love Tiger? How much? Do you love Tiger this much? This much? Are you going to love him this much? Not really? Okay, let's shuffle this for Gemini. Let's shuffle this for Gemini, 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 Gemini. Kind of wands. Gemini. Where's the mousey? Where's the mousey? My pretty Gemini, my pretty Geminis. Hello, Sappy. Whoa. Do you love Geminis? Do you love Tiger? Well, that was, you were not sold on it again. Do you love Tiger? How much? Do you love Tiger this much? This much? Are you going to love him this much? Not really? Okay, let's shuffle this for Gemini. Let's shuffle this for Gemini, 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 Gemini. Connect. Okay, we have the furry visitor with the furry bum again. So Geminis, let's start. The bottom of the deck, it is 7 of Wands. It is reversed. To me, this is the ultimate card that really talks about, look, I am not giving up on my position. It really tells me about a person, a man or a woman, who achieved something in their life. And you know, as life is not linear, you don't go and sit there and everything goes well. Everybody wants to sit on that bench where you're sitting. Everybody wants to take what you have. Everybody wants to be better. Sort of like, if you're not moving forward, you're actually going backward. You're not staying where you are. And this really tells me that somebody's really defending themselves in the upright situation. And look, they're like other basically magic wands pointing toward her. When this is reversed, somebody doesn't give a flying, thing about things anymore. It's kind of like, I said it, I did it, nothing happened. Maybe this can be a little bit of disillusionment, a little bit of disappointment, but I really think there is a switch of direction that you thought you had planned. That again, we have like these beautiful stars bursting. I don't know, like, I mean, maybe you are a star this particular month, because actually this is really, really good if I really look, considering this big picture. Now, it is really interesting to me how and what this basically month is going to be all about. So in the center over here, the very first card that jumped out was Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands to me sometimes talks about burdens, and of course, look at this. This is not the best way to carry brooms. Hello, even though that's exactly how I carry groceries. And it is like, really, are you that lazy to do it twice? And doing it twice is going to benefit your cardiovascular system, and you know, you're going to actually lose some weight. But nah, you know, let's do it this way. So let's kind of like drop it several times. Let's pick it up several times. You know, let's kind of like make sure that the eggs are broken over there. You know where I'm going with that. Kind of like, let's resolve to do things properly, because that's also what it's talking about. Seven of Pentacles. It's kind of like, and this is now second seven. So remember how I was telling you initially, you have to have patience. You have to know in which direction you're going. So the sevens are always about forward moving, but sometimes to move forward. And I know that not everybody is in this icy Toronto where you get stuck and the wheels are spinning on the ice. But trust me, sometimes to move forward on the ice, you have to go backward. And that's how I see it over here. You have to figure out if you were going about certain things the best way. You have to think how things are really going. Seven of Pentacles is about reassessment. And I don't know what the heck is this on the card. Oh, I think they're like little kitty claws. Look at that. Oh, no, these are doggy claws. So there you have a tiger making his mark on this deck as well. Seven of Pentacles is one of those cards that talks about, you know, growth, but it talks about the growth that didn't reach the full potential, because the growth reaches full potential in the case number 10, and voila, you have it there. So the rest is just I'm filling in the story. You get that, like you're heading there. So there is like at least for you to understand that your, you know, efforts were not in vain, that you're really going places, you're really doing things, right? So Seven of Pentacles to me is about readjustment. You need to kind of figure out which things you need to leave behind, what need to take it forward, and you're resolving to continue to build certain things. Then what is below you, what is above you? You have like Five of Swords, and here you have Page of Wands, and it's reversed. You know, and again, this goes about moving forward and moving backward. You know, this is kind of like a really tricky card. It usually means about winning or losing, and even if you win, sometimes you really don't feel like a winner. Sometimes you feel that you're a loser. Interestingly here, it's right after that winning stage and saying, well, you know, I don't even want to fight for this, because what I'm really fighting for, maybe I should continue and try to find something else that excites me more. Because Five of Swords is kind of like giving me that feeling, because look at her. She's going, oh my goodness, what's going on? Everything is like, I mean, going up in the air kind of a thing. Everybody's looking in different direction over here. So I really feel for you. It could be you who are just saying, look, I tried it nicely so many times, and where did it get me? It got me nowhere. So maybe you don't consider this a win, but I do. And I'm not necessarily doing that to clash with you. I am off that project, but I'm just not interested. I'm just not intrigued. And that's kind of going to give you that lightness of being, that kind of like efforts that things can get better. Because there's like still something bothering you. I can see here in this Hermit card that you have it here, right? It's kind of like level think about wisdom, but hey, it is reversed. So what about the wisdom is happening? Maybe you're dealing with some kind of like Virgo person over here. But Six of Cups is telling me that there's like maybe somebody from the past reoccurring, coming to your thoughts, offering friendship, offering love. But maybe that your circumstances or something are a little bit, you know, strange, or a little bit kind of like rough. Maybe you have things that, you know, look, her hands are tied. She really doesn't know. This is Eight of Swords. She really doesn't know who is around, if somebody can help her. And she has everything here for her to basically fly away. She has the best mode of transportation. The freedom is offered, but you need to sometimes reach out. You need to remove your blindfold. You need to see the situation. You have to stop rushing through it, because this is going to be a very meticulous month. And then you have like this beautiful for once. And then you have this beautiful Ten of Pentacles. So my dear Geminis, for some of you, it could mean that somebody from the past is coming to propose to you. It could mean that somebody from the past was some kind of like a puzzle or secret for you, where something went up to a certain level, but it didn't go further, and you were wondering why. They have been wondering the same thing. Alternatively, it could be that you will meet somebody who has such a light-hearted nature that that's going to really feel right. Not only the person, and that's now I understand these religious factors, the card that we had, like you're actually going to find somebody who is actually very close to you in how you see the world, how you feel the world. Not that there's anything wrong with being open-minded and looking for somebody completely the opposite, but in this your case, I really think it's going to be something, or just simply somebody who really fits into your family, that feels home. Look at that. It feels family. I don't know if this is a child or a doll. It looks like one of those wicked dolls, but I really hope it's a child playing with it. So they have everything. They have kitties, they have a dog, I mean, son and daughter, king and queen, and look at that. Holding hands, enjoying themselves together. So there is a little family. Interestingly enough, in this particular version of tarot, they don't have the elderly. Usually you see the grandparents. So the whole point of this card is generation. The whole point of this card, and I really think this is a card for a day today as well, it's that you're heading there, that you have been falling and you have been picking yourself up, and you have been wondering if you're going in a good direction. You have been losing steam. You have been feeling that people are rolling over you. Then you were feeling you're rolling over the other people. Almost like it's freaking range of emotion. It's almost like menu comes to you and you go, everything on the menu. I just want everything. And it was just like, I mean, going with a situation that made you wonder about yourself. But there is like also somebody here, for those of you who are romantically inclined, that somebody is kind of like wondering what to do. Maybe you're expecting to hear from somebody. When Eight of Swords shows up, I always see that as if somebody can't contact you. Well, I know you're saying, what do you mean? Well, they can be in jail, for one, literally handcuffed. Or it could be a situation where they feel that at that point they have nothing to offer you. So the best is not to complicate your life. The best is just to be friends, to look you from a distance and admire you from the distance. But I really have to tell you that, like, if you are talking about somebody you're separated from, there's like a mutual longing that I see over here. We're going to clarify just a few cards because everything is clear to me. Because we started this reading with a 7 and a 10. 10 switches in a new direction, and you immediately jump to the 7th level saying we are switching because something needs attending. Something needs to kind of like reassess what are you going to do about this situation. In that case, something can be very romantic, something can be very lovely, something can feel so amazing. And you know what? I really think you need it. I really feel it was some kind of like struggle. In a while, I feel that there were some kind of sacrifices and burdens, and that you were tapping in the dark. So hence this even Hermit over here has this like light. And it's kind of good that you're going to feel that you're having that soft place to fall. I want to see the Hermit. Why is the Hermit there? Because that's a major arcana, and it's a very important one. Because Hermit, Fool, and the Hangman represent God. And in this particular stage is like, well, do I really need other people? Or are the answers inside of me? Right? So sort of like, am I looking for the sage? But if I'm looking for a sage, what do I look for? Because maybe I don't know what I want. So that's why she's shown here doing yoga and meditation, kind of like assessing her own thing. It's interestingly about humidifier. And I love owls. I don't know about you guys, and I know that my pronunciation is really funny. Ooh, I kind of look like this one, except with more weight on it. So okay, I don't look like this woman. Let's put it this way. In my dreams. So this kind of like humidifier that I have kind of like has this mist, and it's so amazing. I put lavender, and it's calming the pets and calming me. But talking about this sorrow. I am getting this for the second time. I didn't mention it the first time. I didn't think, oh, there is another one. I didn't think it was that relevant though, but now I'm starting to think it is. To me, this card usually talks about long distance. Somebody is waiting and waiting and waiting. I think I don't know if this is Belvedere in a Vera Sibilla deck, where she kind of like looks like with the monocular in the wrong direction. But there's like somebody who, I don't know, you can see the note, or maybe she just received some kind of like really bad news. What could that be, right? So it could be depression that you're dealing with, and the Hermit has this tendency, when he doesn't find the answer, saying, oh my gosh, I'm just useless. You know, that self-talk, we do that to ourselves at times, you know, time of the month kind of a thing. But the second card is wedding, and this card is very similar to that honeymoon, but it's also kind of, it's kind of like dual. It does have that intention, because look, they're going to the priest, they're doing these vows. There is like this, where is my religious factors card? But at the same time, there are like still so many stairs to go up. You're just starting to begin, and that's what this card says, going to the next level, or whatever the next level is. Understanding that you really want to go there, understanding that you still need to work on it, even though at this stage you are kind of like moving it forward. I like that they're barefooted, because it shows, look, you know, just like here, it's not going to be easy. It might be hard, but are you ready in good and bad? You know what basically they're saying. But anyhow, guys, I really think, being an air sign, usually air signs are very enthusiastic. Air signs maybe too fast, and because we are too fast, we lose enthusiasm too quickly, or people disappoint us rather quickly. But if you kind of like act more like Earth, which kind of like you will this particular month, with this huge dose of water and emotion overwhelming, it could be a little bit different kind of like take on life. It's not going to be so much about the speed and how to get there really fast, and which is the first ticket and which is the airplane, never mind a bus or anything else, rocket if available. But sort of like, I want to make sure that every step I take is taking me where I need to go, and I want to make it kind of like solid. So you're building those bricks, you're putting the mortar, and you're securing each one of them, ensuring the strength. So I really like that. But you see, by doing that, it's going to be moments where you're going to feel stuck, where you're going to feel sad, we're going to feel I lost something. Again, remember fates. Serenity prayer. God, give me that ability to understand what you have in a plan for me. So my dear Gemini, I need to go and rush to the other signs. I feel so bad, but that's why it's covering a little bit more from now on, and I really hope you like it. And if this guy's resonated with you and you're not a subscriber yet, maybe this is an opportunity. Also, if some of you like kind of like how I use my coaching in here, then maybe you should consider also signing up for my mailing list, and all descriptions are in the box, as well as my website cattarot.ca and my email if you want a private reading. So guys, I am really booked through the roof with private reading. Like January, which is usually slow month, was ridiculous for me, and then I adopted Tiger, and that kind of like made it even worse. But if you really need something really quick, consider rush or urgent, because otherwise I don't know, for those of you who know my readings, you know that I'm not cutting corners. I don't want to just slap the reading and just give it to you. I just want to really understand you and feel you, and that's how I do it. So that long introduction to tell you it might be a little bit of a wait. So I love you guys. My Gemini is going to be a lovely month for you, even though at times you're going to say, what the hell are you talking about? So there you go. Love you guys. All the best.